7, 10, 24. We're in Taigong's 6 Secret Teachings, Chapter 4, Tiger Secret Teaching, Reaching the Border. King Wu asked Taigong, "Our army confronts the enemy at the border. The enemy can attack us while we can attack them. Both sides have strong formations. Neither dares take action first. I would like to attack them but worry about being attacked. What should I do?" Taigong answered, "Under such circumstances, divide your troops into 3 sections, front, middle, and rear. The front troops dig deep moats and build high ramparts without initiating battle. They set up flags and beat drums. They prepare for defense. They accumulate food supplies without being noticed by enemy spies. Then secretly send your strong middle troop to attack the enemy's center. Attack without being noticed. Attack when they are not prepared. When the enemy is unaware of your maneuver, they will not dare to attack you." King Wu asked, "If the enemy knows our situation and perceives our attempts, they know our intentions. They will send their strong troops to ambush us in deep grass, attempt to cut off our troops on narrow roads, and attack our weak points. What should we do?" Taigong said, "Command your frontline troops to provoke the enemy every day to wear them out. Command your old and weak soldiers to drag tree branches to raise dust, beat the drums, create a clamor, and run back and forth, to make your army appear more impressive. Your troops then show up to the left or the right of the enemy, less than 100 paces from them. After your persistent harassment, the enemy's general will be fatigued and his soldiers will be frightened. In this way, they will not dare to attack you. You pester them ceaselessly and attack them internally and externally. When you engage in battle rapidly, the enemy will be defeated." I like the undertone of always keep them distracted, always be in their line of sight, always be right there, and then after you've worn them down, that's when you attack. And so this could be used for lots of things like sales, where you're just like right there, you're right there, you're right there. You're telling them the benefits, you're not even asking. It's like the give jab that Gary Vee talks about, right? So let's do movement and activity and wrap it up. King Wu asked Taigong, "We lead the troops deep inside enemy territory. Both sides are equal in strength and numbers and confront each other. Both sides dare not initiate the battle. Under such circumstances, I would like the enemy general to be fearful, his troops low in morale, his formations fragmented, his soldiers in the rear on the verge of fight, and his frontline formation unstable. When we beat the drums and shout, our attack will force the enemy to escape. What shall we do?" Taigong said, "Send troops 10 miles behind the enemy. Ambush them from both sides of the road. Send chariots and cavalry about 100 miles away. Behind the enemy's troops, command your soldiers to prepare numerous flags, drums, and gongs. When battle commences, beat the drums and shout. At the same time, have all the troops attack the enemy. The enemy's general is sure to be scared, and his soldiers will panic. Their troops cannot rescue each other. Officers and soldiers will not watch out for each other, and they will definitely be defeated." King Wu asked, "The terrain which the enemy occupies is not convenient for an ambush. Our chariots and cavalry cannot reach the rear of the enemy, and, at the same time, they notice our attempts and make preparations. Our officers and soldiers are pessimistic and dismayed. Our general is fearful and cannot gain victory. What should we do?" Taigong replied, "How subtle! In this situation, patrols should be sent 5 days before the battle. Your spies and officers should observe enemy movements, investigate the signs of enemy advances, and set up traps ahead of them. You should fight on the terrain which puts the enemy at a disadvantage. Space out your flags and troops. Assault the enemy with equal strength and numbers. Retreat once the battle begins. Beat the gongs and pretend to halt. Withdraw 3 miles, then fight back. The ambushing force will begin the battle on both sides of the enemy. Or attack the front and rear if your entire army fights fiercely. The enemy will definitely be defeated." And King Wu said, "Well said." All right, so very interesting. I like the depth of what is the art of war. And so while there's a couple of chapters in the art of war that he does get a little specific about the amount of li and things like that, this is almost a very specific account of what exactly to do. And so it just goes to show you, though, that like great military strategists who know what they're talking about and know these strategies, they have experience. I think the main lesson to learn is that the numbers don't always translate, especially across so many centuries, but especially in society. And me being a couch potato economist that I am, I think that a lot of people get trapped in like what a dollar was in 1974 versus what it's worth now. And this is kind of the same thing. If you're not prepared and you don't understand the right numbers, you're not going to win. and you're not going to be able to keep up that persistent attack. Because if the numbers change and the meaning behind the numbers change, then almost so does the terrain of war.